Home Show.
Jerry from Galveston has a question about rusty bolts.
Yeah, they're on his 1984 house. It's out on the west end, at the far end of the island, Tom. And Jerry writes, our pilings are attached with about 40 very large lag bolts to the house. The house is connected that way, right? And they don't look any different from the other lag bolts on houses in the area. That is that they look pretty much rusted and decayed, right? From the salt air. So we had worked on the house recently, and the contractor suggested replacing them with stainless steel bolts. Does this make any sense? Because Jerry adds, we don't have any ongoing problems we can trace to these corroded lag bolts.
Okay, first off, they're not lag bolts. They're bolts that go all the way through. They have a nut and a washer on the end. I know they do because that's the way they're all built down there. I'm very familiar with the West End. I owned a home that had the same kind of bolts. It was built in 1960. It's still there. And they were rusting.
So hold on. So you're saying that this is another French drain thing. They're using the wrong word for the right thing, right?
Lag bolt, yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you. What is a lag bolt then?
Okay, a lag bolt is like a big screw, and you take a socket set and you screw it into the wood.
Okay.
These you drill all the way through, and then you have a long bolt that goes through and attaches everything together, and then it tightens down. So it's just a bolt and a nut. It's a lag bolt. It goes into the wood and ties into the wood. And the reason you don't use those is water will get in there and the wood will rot, and then the threads don't hold on to anything because of the situation. It's by the ocean. I mean, it's just going to rot away.
Yeah.
So it's a big bolt. Now, the old bolts they used back in the 80s probably were galvanized as opposed to stainless steel. But I will tell you this, if you do replace them, you will use a stainless. But stainless steel is still going to rust down there too. You don't beat the ocean. The ocean will slowly beat you. Now, it'll take a long time, but it'll slowly beat you. Now, eventually, they're going to have to be replaced because the heads rust off. The bolt inside the wood is fine. It's the nuts, the threads, and the heads on it that will slowly rust off. Mine did too. And what I would do is I would take a lag bolt, believe it or not, Charlie, and I would put a couple lag bolts underneath it and just bolt it and tie it into the wood so it stays in place. Then I would cut the nut off of the big long bolt, pound it through, put a new one in so it didn't shift. Those lag bolts would hold it temporarily so it wouldn't shift, and then bolt it down with a brand new one. And so you slowly work them out that way. And that way, you just don't take them out because the whole thing, if it moves just a little bit, the whole house starts to come down on you. So you've got to make sure you either shore it up with lumber, 2x4s and stuff, or do what I do and sacrifice a few lag bolts for the cause. And that's what I would do to replace the ones that will last more permanent.
There is just no coating you can put on that metal to make it fight the ocean.
No.
Got it.
Even if it's plastic, I mean, no, you can't.
That's true, right? Even plastic things decay down there.
And it's not going to hold the structure, right? I built the last house I built down in Jamaica Beach, $1 million rehab. They had all kinds of stuff, and they wanted top-of-the-line stainless steel hinges, doorknobs. They paid a fortune. I think they got it from Ferguson. I mean, it was big, top-dollar stuff, beautiful. Before they moved in, there was rust on the doorknobs. And they said, Tom, there's rust on the doorknobs. I said, that's not Mike. I didn't do anything. I promise.
Yeah.
It's the beach.
Here you go. What you want to do is give Mother Nature a call. Talk to her.
Yes. And I learned my lesson that way too. Every week, when I had a weekend home, we'll get done with this. I would go down, and the first thing I would do is notice a light fixture on the outside of the home hanging by the wires because the little screws rusted out. There would be stuff, and I would spend the first day, I would go to Walmart or the lumber yard across the street, buy all my little stuff, fix everything the first day, so that was a worthless day for me with the kids. And then the second day, I could start to enjoy the beach and everything because I got my projects done. It's just the nature of what you do down there.
Yeah. Good reason to buy a house in the hill country. All right. Do you have you have a question?
Tarantulas and scorpions, no.
That's right. We're happy to help you out. Go visit HomeShowRadio.com. Fill out that Ask Tom form and send it in, and we'll put up an answer just like this to help you. And we'll post one. We post new ones every day at HomeShowRadio.com, our Facebook page, and our YouTube channel, which, by the way, you can search that YouTube channel and find answers to all kinds of questions.